Welcome to your OCP or optimal creative process, and congratulations on taking this very important step on your creative journey. It is one that will change it forever. You will never be able to unknow what you learn here, and it's really going to radically change your thinking regarding your creativity and what you're capable of. So let's start, shall we? The first thing we need to know to start creating an optimal creative process is what are the elements that we are looking for so that we can know what we can adjust to tweak the outcomes to create the desired state of creativity we are looking for. What parts make the difference to our creative inspiration and what parts are inconsequential? What stops us from feeling inspired and what sets our inspiration on fire? Believe it or not, it's not actually the things that you think it is. Where you are and what you're doing and who's around you and what happened yesterday and all these things that seem to help or hinder your creative process. But really, they are just things that trigger the real culprits for your creative success or failure. The creative state of flow exists within everyone. And we're all capable of tuning into it, and there is no one who can't do this. The thing that you can't do is be somebody else. You can't trigger your flow state with somebody else's process. You have to create your own. The good news is that though you can very much restructure your creative process so that you can deactivate the negative triggers or the ones that detract from your creativity and reactivate the positive ones that are the ones that fuel your creativity. Bear with me, because if there was ever a time to get self-empowered, it's right now. If you were to say to me that you get your best ideas on the toilet, in the shower, or when you're driving, you wouldn't be the only one in the world. These are often places that people get inspired, more often than, say, at a desk, at work, trying to come up with a good idea. But these places and ways of getting a good idea are all accidental. None of these are ways that you can rely on when your client needs your artwork by tomorrow afternoon, and this artwork is the key to landing a six-figure account. They're not ways that you can rely on when you have your album due and your band is waiting for your lyrics so that you can start recording. They're not ways that you can depend on when you want to be included in that art gallery show that has entries closing in a week. Today's world is full of people with great ideas and standing out from the pack and being unique and memorable while staying true to yourself and integral as an artist has never been harder. Well, actually, it's only hard if you're doing it by accident. When you learn to do it on purpose, this world of mega fast information will be your playground. This is the hard thing about it. The harder you try to have a good idea, the worse your ideas will get until you don't have any at all. Then, when you're not trying to have good ideas, that's when they will pop up. But you can't just pretend to not be trying. Somehow the ideas know, right? And they stay away. So let's look at the elements that these three things, the toilet, the shower, and driving, have in common so that we can use them in creating your OCP or optimal creative process. More importantly, we can start to define and identify that there are underlying factors affecting your creativity and that this is no longer a hit and miss game. We want to properly identify the factors that truly affect your creativity and discard the things that don't. Because the things that truly affect your creativity, when turned up, turn your creativity up. And when turned down, turn down your creativity. And this is every time, not just sometimes, not occasionally, every time. So it won't be a case of you saying sometimes when I go for a shower, good ideas come to me. You'll be able to say with confidence and truth, I'm going to go and come up with a good idea for this. And in no time, be actively on your path to making that idea a reality. What we really want to look at here is these things that we usually attribute to the success or failure of our creative flow are really just triggers for the real culprits for creative genius. That's why it seems so inconsistent and why formulating an effective OCP can be hard. Why some days your creative process works like a charm and for other days it just sometimes just doesn't. The bad news is life will go on, and there will inevitably be days where it affects you in a negative way creatively. The difference now will be that when that happens, you will be able to recognize it quickly, know what's going on, and have a toolkit of ways to remedy the situation. Now, you'll also know how to execute the needed maintenance with each tool. And in turn, you will turn around so quickly and be in the creative flow so quickly that it won't even matter that you were out. The other thing that we'll look at is how to avoid the quintessential artist mistakes of being too hard on yourself or beating up on yourself. You'll begin to find that when you know what you're shooting for and how it works, there'll be no need for you to feel bad when you get it wrong or if you have a bad day. This is because you will start to realize that these parts are not only unavoidable, they are beneficial to your process. They will be the indicators that you are not quite in the creative flow at that one time or at that particular time. They'll be the trigger to set yourself back into the flow. Perfectionism does not breed perfection. It in fact stands in the way of it. And you'll be able to find the state of flow that is required for that masterpiece to take shape and actually be something that you are proud of instead of something that you're never happy with because your perfectionist brain keeps telling you it's not good enough. I've definitely been there. So, your OCP is not going to be something that once you've figured it out, it will be a magic formula for pumping out masterpieces. The truth is, that would be uncreative and boring, and frankly, no fun at all. Your OCP will be something that grows with you and keeps you in a state of fun and freedom when creating, rather than boxing you in. It will keep you on your toes in a good way. That stops you from getting bored, helps you grow and improve, but constantly surprises and delights you with the outcomes. This means your OCP will help you to stay out of the uninspired states, helping you to avoid creative burnout and creative block. Because rather than avoid these things, we are just going to find so many ways to be in the opposing states. It will be easier and easier to just be there instead. The consequence of doing that is that inevitably you'll start making quality artwork. And not only will the artwork improve with time, so will your level of fun whilst creating it and your mastery of new and exciting ways to create it. Let's face it, the truth is that most of us creative people create because it's enjoyable to us in some way. It makes us feel better, if not good. We'd all prefer to be doing something like that for a living rather than something boring and uninspiring. We just want to earn money with it as well. There's no shame in that. Survival on this planet right now is often equated to how much money you can make. And whilst the truth is it's irrelevant to your happiness, you will start to notice it is actually an energetic amplifier. Money just takes who you are and makes it louder. So who you are as you make your money, it really matters, because if you're doing what you love, it's a surefire way to be true to yourself whilst you're making your money, the money that you deserve. Unfortunately, though, what most people do is they take that thing that they love and they turn it into a job, the very thing that you didn't want to do. This is what leads to creative burnout and creative block. And how do you know if you've done this or are doing this? It's easy. It feels like a job now. If what you do feels like a job, it's a job. There is no other definition, and it comes down to finding your path. What we're going to do is keep it as, or turn it back into, the thing that you fell in love with in the first place, because that's what you're doing this for. You want it to feel fun and free. You want to, by virtue, just gravitate towards it and want to do it more. Human beings naturally want to focus in the place that feels the best to them. People try to train us out of it from the time that we're very young, but that's why when you fall in love, the thought of your lover is the best feeling in the world to you, and so you keep thinking of them as a default. You keep switching there. Sometimes it gets so bad you can't think of anything else. The truth is that if you were this in love with your projects and your creativity, thinking about them would be something you'd want to do all day. You'd want to be with them all day. You'd want to be working on them all day, and it would replenish you to do so instead of drain you. So we're going to work on how to get yourself into that place and start having ideas to fall in love with. If you are already ready for this journey, then the journey starts for you in the next lesson. Please download the OCP digital journal and print it out. Fill it out on your computer, tablet, or phone, or take out your hardcover OCP journal if you bought one. There are places in there to take notes, as well as sheets to help you complete the homework portions of the lessons. The homework part is the important part, as this is what will make this work for you. It's what will get it out of your head and into reality for you. That way you won't just end up watching this course and not have a complete OCP at the end of it. So I'll see you in the next lesson, and we'll do that.